It's round number 2 of the Hoosier Racing League as we come to you live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Atlanta, Georgia. Round number 2 taking the place with the Gen 6 cars in the Cup Series for the Hoosier Racing League. Good evening, friends. Marty Sakala with you. We're so glad you could join us for live coverage. Well, we get set to go. We had an incredible race with the Next Gens last week at the Daytona International Speedway. And if you missed it, we've got the replay on demand for you on twitch.tv/Marty Sakala. It was a fantastic race, and we saw Riley Lambert take home the win after leading only one lap. What a run we had. What a race he had. Just came from the back in the race all by himself, just quiet throughout the day, and made his way up to the front. Well, now it's the second round of the season taking place with the Gen 6 cars here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see if Riley Lambert can rebound. We got 140 laps here around the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's meet the field of 18. Here is your starting lineup. Jordan Stenzel in the 83, lining up on pole position. Time of 31.177. And restarting next to him is Ryan Douglas in the 9. Row number 2 is Derek Hateman in the number 76. And Justin Branham in the 58. Row number 3 is Jeff Crosby Jr. in the 33. And Anthony Monroe in the 82. Row 4, Alan Martin driving car number 05. And Riley Lambert, last week's winner, in the 50. Rounding out the top 10, Casey Duncan driving the 18 and Tyler Glass in the 5. And in row 6, making his debut, Eli Raposa in the 21 and Chris Davis driving the 29. Row number 7, you'll find Shane Davis in the 30 and Mark Jackson in the 1. Row 8, Jeff Crosby Sr. and Stephen Wolfram. And rounding out the field tonight is Patrick Hernandez. Patrick Hernandez in the number 19 and Jamie Abreu in the 20. As we get set to go under the green flag, let's give you your weather report as we go racing. I'm trying to focus on the Cup race at the same time as this race, the Bristol Dirt Race. But here's the weather track forecast. 125 degrees is the track temp. Very slick here today at Atlanta. 85 degrees is the air temp, set just after 12:30 p.m. Here's a look at the info. 140 laps, 210 miles, 24 degrees in the turns. Drivers expected to be slipping and sliding throughout this race. But we're about to find out what is about to go down in round number 2. The lone Canadian in the field, Jordan Stenzel, leads 17 Americans to the green flag here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the old Atlanta. Keep in mind, the pace car is in pit road. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, except Atlanta? It's showtime. Two by two off the corner. Derek Heyman gets loose off of turn number 2. His car almost spins around. An incredible save, but he goes all the way from second to the rear of the field. The effects of the slick track coming already in full fashion. Riley Lambert drops to the rear of the field. That's no surprise, but off of the first quarter, it's Stenzel that leads the opening lap. Jeff Crosby Jr. to the inside on Ryan Douglas as Crosby wants that second spot on the racetrack. Not going to get it, though. Drivers slipping and sliding all over the place, specifically in the exits of the corners. Now what happens with the slick track? Keep in mind as well, this is still using the NA18D package that NASCAR had in 2019 through 2021 with the Gen 6 cars. Of course, I am talking about 550 horsepower and high downforce. So the drivers will be going mostly full throttle in this race, but once we see the tires start to give way, then we'll see the drivers be having to let off and perhaps use some brakes. Also likely as well, seeing these drivers follow each other throughout the race, try and use the draft to their advantage. Anthony Monroe inside for second position on Ryan Douglas. See what the driver of the 82 can do. Already up 3 spots from the start of this race. Low side going to be tough to run here in the corners here at Atlanta today, unless the drivers are running single file. If you want to have success in the corners, you want to be going on the outside because that's where everyone's going to be wanting to go. The drivers are running so hard side by side. Stenzel has been able to open a gap up early in the 83, up 0.3 of a second as we go to the battle for 4th spot on track between John Crosby Jr. and Justin Branham. Oh, there goes the leader. Stenzel loses it off of turn number 2. Can he keep the lead entering turn 3 for right now? Yes, but Ryan Douglas pulls up to the door. He's got the momentum entering turn number 3. This battle for the lead is on. Stenzel, though, still leads at the start-finish line. You got one blanket in the back. That's Alan Martin in the 05. Somehow Stenzel was able to hold on to this race lead after losing it. Douglas, big side draft off of turn number 2, and that should put the 9 out front. And yes, new leader. First lead change of the day. Ryan Douglas goes to the point. Justin Branham in that unsponsored 58 machine running in 3rd, and it's Monroe on the bottom in 4th position. Crosby Jr. thought about maybe perhaps a run all the way to the bottom, but could have clipped the grass. On board with the 58 of Branham. You can see just laying off the throttle, but gotta be careful on the exits, and keeps it going right there. Good battle for 4th position. High side advantage for Monroe with the 82, as long as he can get the help from Alan Martin in the 05. That doesn't seem to be the case. Here comes Casey Duncan in the number 18 machine, as he's up to P6 on track. Battle for the lead, though, on once again. Stenzel tried to pull it up to the bottom, but he has no help off of turn number 2. This could help out Branham take away 2nd spot on the racetrack, and he's got it. The 58 Ford up to P2. Stenzel nearly loses it entering turn number 3. That makes a good save, keeps the car going. Meanwhile, Duncan up on the outside, one in 4th position on track. He's got it 3 wide entering turn 1. Monroe caught a sandwich, and he is loose. Can he save it? Yes, he can. A lot easier for the drivers with the high downforce 550 package to save it. If that was low downforce 750, that's Duncan on the radio.
I probably should switch you through anyway. I just had to run for the one.
That's Crosby Jr. in the 33, who had that huge run that took it all the way down to the bottom of the track. Meanwhile, for the race lead, Branham, as Douglas goes tight, he wiggles on the entry of 1 and 2. He falls back to 2nd. Justin Branham goes to the race lead. Incredible racing so far early here. You've got 7 drivers all under a blanket in the battle for the race lead. Meanwhile, look at the run for Crosby Jr. again. Does he try to thread the needle, go 3 wide once again? Doesn't. We're nearly 4 wide entering 1. This is outstanding racing, folks. Crosby Jr. gets a little bit tight, a lot of understeer in the entry of the corner, and loses a couple of tenths on the track. And because of this pack of drivers, look at this. Crosby Jr. again 3 wide. He backs out of it, though. Duncan got tight as Stenzel nearly got the wall. Because of those drivers going side by side for that 3rd position, Branham and Douglas have been able to open up a small gap, about 0.3 of a second, Over the leaders, we're nearly 4 wide off of turn number 2. Oh my goodness, that's oh so close. Tyler Glass, the 5, first time we mentioned him, nearly got into the 33 of Junior. Stenzel again, loose centering the corner. Man, this is absolutely impressive early on that the drivers are putting on. Keep in mind, if you are new to the Hoosier Racing League, this is a series that runs many different cars at different tracks. Last week, we ran the next gen car at Daytona. This week, of course, it's Gen 6 in Atlanta. Next week, we go to Dover for the Xfinity Series, and then the iRacing Super Speedway for trucks. And then we'll go to many different tracks. Every single car that we talked about will be ran 3 times throughout the season. We'll end the season with the truck races. I'd like to welcome a couple of viewers in. First off, thank you, Gabrielli that's Jimmy Bro. Oh, hang on, we got trouble. Pat Hernandez is the wall, and there they go. Crosby Jr. has spun it in turn number 2, but no caution. We stay green.
Yeah.
And that'll bring our first yellow of the race out. Hard racing gone wrong early here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It was a wild week for the Crosbys last week at the Daytona International Speedway. And it continues on. There's Pat Hernandez with major damage to the 19. All drivers, by the way, with one quick repair that they can use. I don't know if I'd be wanting to use it early, though, unless I had severe damage. And so for the first time tonight, we go to our replay and show you what brought out the caution. There is Hernandez. He just came down to Crosby Jr. Now, the yellow didn't come out until later, and we'll show you why right here. Comes back on the track with the back markers showing up. Right on board with Crosby Jr., you'll see, watch the far car with the red top. That is Hernandez. Just drove it a little bit too deep on the high side in 2, and he may have gotten the leader in Branham. And I think he did, and then this is what causes all the collusion here. So leaders are in pit road at the moment. A couple of differing strategies. Top 2 decide to stay out, and Crosby Sr. and Wolfram. Alan Martin doing fuel only. Now, keep in mind, this is the old version of Atlanta. It's not the new version. So this is the most abrasive track on the schedule, and you know without question, drivers are going to be wanting to take 4 tires on every single pit stop tonight. So it took us just about 13 laps to bring out the yellow flag. As we just confirmed here, by the way, keep in mind drivers with 6 tire sets for this race. The fuel limit is set to 70%. So that means the limit tonight on pit road will just be about 50 laps or so. So we're looking at a 3-stop race here if we get a long run going, even though drivers have used up their first set of tires. Again, 6 additional tire sets. Front row and Crosby Sr. and Wolfram, they all stayed out under that yellow. Everybody else took 4 tires and fuel. Ryan Douglas was the first off of pit road. As we get set for this restart, he lines up next to Tyler Glass in row number 2. Row 3, Justin Branham and Casey Duncan. Row 4, Derek Hateman and Anthony Monroe. And in row 5, Mark Jackson and Shane Davis. As we get set to go back to green, Crosby gets to fire first. By the way, Crosby and Wolfram all started in row number 8 and have been cautious from the get-go. Were not a part of this battle to the lead early on. Wolfram spins the tires and causes a big stack up. And we got one on his lid. That's Davis. Oh my heavens. That was ugly. And a lot of drivers are not going to be happy after what went down. Drivers having to use their quick repairs. Ryan Douglas, one of those drivers that was involved in that yellow. Derek Hateman, I think, got damage in the 76, trying to take a look, just some front-end damage. Eli Raposa in the 21, taking a look at his car. He looks to be okay despite going off track. Mark Jackson in the 1 as we take a look. He's on the apron. He may have suffered something involved in that too. Riley Lambert up to 4th. I think I see some damage to his car on the rear end. Anthony Monroe, front end is in. Stented in. A lot of damage to Casey Duncan in the 18. Pat Hernandez with even more damage involved. This, the big one that just cannot be happening early here. We're going to take a look at this from our drone shot. Watch Wolfram here. Everybody else wanted to go when the leader fired of Crosby Sr. and nobody got it. And the 5 just pounds the 52 around, and there they go. Look at that wild ride. Having some technical difficulties at the moment. Let's show you another angle here. Watch from the flag stand. Douglas's situation was completely different. Watch this onboard. He had completely missed the wreck and his car got stuck up on the wall. Oh, you know what? I tell you what happened. He spun the, he over-revved it, and then I think he may have locked the brakes up. I don't know. Absolutely strange. This is Anthony Monroe. One of the few drivers with nowhere to go in that wreck. Casey Duncan. Nowhere to go as well. And oh man, they all piled into Douglas too in the aftermath. That's unbelievable. Hernandez. He was actually one of the few that got away from that wreck clean. Let's go to Chris Davis. I think we're going back to the green flag momentarily. What a wild ride for Shane Davis. And we're going to watch his onboard last as he goes up on his lid. All right, we're back to green after all of that chaos. And it's Justin Branham that brought the field back to the green flag. Everyone came in under the last yellow. Three wide already in turn number 2. That's the battle for 4th position. Tyler Glass on the outside. That's Jamie Abreu, who lost a couple of spots back out there. Monroe goes down to the bottom on Raposa. The battle for second position and can't get it. We got trouble behind them. Shane Davis has gone around in turn 2. No caution. He's out of harm's way. We stay under the green flag. Hernandez trying to rebound after that first yellow. 3 wide off for 2. Look out, Monroe loose, and we got trouble. Caution is out, but we don't know what it's for. So that means we'll have to go to the iRacing monitor and check when the yellow did fly. So there you see when the lights came on. I'm baffled too. That is a very strange yellow. If anyone knows, let me know. But while we were at it and waiting, take this opportunity to say hello to a couple of other people. Mentioned Brian Abro. We appreciate you subscribing to us with Amazon Prime. Appreciate that. Alec Boldoin also watching. Alec, hope you're doing well. Believe he is under the weather, so we hope you feel better. He says it's bummed to miss it. Old Atlanta is fun. The 95 will be back in a few weeks. And rooting for Tyler Glass and Derek Harriman. Excuse me, Hateman. So what Alec is saying that he thinks it was a bad restart and nobody was bunched up. I'm not sure. Drivers, by the way, are pitting, but I don't know. I think they're all trying to get their optional repair, but I hope these drivers are aware that they only have 6 sets of tires. Hopefully they are. While we're at it, let's listen to some live chat. And also, if you hear any language, we do apologize for it.
I have a black clear, it's just passing him a yellow, but I came into the pits. Thank you.
Again, guys, I would go each in the restart. Don't want to spin the cars.
Alrighty, so we are set to go back to the green flag. Reset the field here for you. Justin Branham and Eli Raposa on the front row. Anthony Monroe and Tyler Glass, row 2. Jamie Abreu and Pat Hernandez in row 3. Jeff Crosby Sr., Casey Duncan, row 4. Derek Hateman and Jordan Stenzel round out the top 10. Branham, the control car. I think we've got them all bunched up this time as we're ready to go back to green to put 27 laps up on the boards. Nice restart there for Branham. Tyler Glass taking away the second position. Hernandez up to third. The high side didn't really get a good jump out of everybody there. Low line with the advantage off of turn 2. Hateman looking around the outside as Raposa makes the pass stick for 4th spot on the track. Monroe again got a little loose center in the corner. I think the reason why his car's been getting loose a lot today is because of that rear end. I think both ends of the car, how they're just punched because of the air just getting so dirty there. That car's just freaking out, not knowing what to do. Raposa on the inside of Hernandez in the battle for 3rd position, but Hernandez keeps that final podium spot, trying to get that win. He came
right now.
He came oh so close to taking the victory at Daytona and lost out by inches to Lambert. By the way, Riley Lambert in the 13th position at the moment. But battle for the lead is on. Tyler Glass, after bumping Wolfram out of the way on the restart, who had stayed out, the man with fresher tires, up into 2nd position. Top 3 and pulled away from Hateman, Raposa, and Monroe. Here's the run for Glass down low, but he's got no help. Pat Hernandez has the draft, and he's looking for 2nd spot on track, on board with a 19. Here's a guy in Hernandez that's not really a big qualifier. Starting 17th in the race, and now he's up to 2nd. Check that, he's up to the lead. Branham tucks it back in line. Tyler Glass looks to go inside for the runner-up spot. And Glass keeping control of 2nd spot for now. Back on board with Branham in the 58. Drivers, I believe, approaching lap traffic shortly. Whoa, Branham loose off at 2. You could just hear that with the skid marks, but somehow he kept that car going. Hernandez and Glass, meanwhile, taking different lines in 3 and 4, but the clean air is what you want here with the high downforce neck cup cars. Hernandez continues to lead. We focus on the battle for 2nd. Run from Branham up on the outside. Should have complete control of 2nd. There's some big neck code. And Glass went down the track, makes a good save. As you're on board from Justin Branham to rear end, Derek Hateman starting to get all over the 5 of Glass. See how that side-by-side battle allowed Hernandez to pull up 0.3 of a second on Branham and the field. At best battle on track currently between Raposa and Duncan for P5. Continuing to be a fun one. You see the change for 3rd spot on track as Hateman's able to get by Glass. Meanwhile, Branham trying to get up to Hernandez and challenge for the race lead. Driver in pit road, by the way, that's Jordan Stenzel, who led early on in the going in this race. Bateman up on the outside, looking for a position change. Trying to get up to fourth spot. Near net code situation by the 2 again. Justin Branham, meanwhile, in this 58, trying everything to catch up to Pat Hernandez and take this race lead away. It's really tough when you have a fixed setup and at the same time dealing with the high downforce 550 horses. You see how he's pulling away. Let's compare it to the leader. How it's just about even at the moment. You see Branham closes in a couple of car lengths at the entry of the corner, but Hernandez gets it on corner exit. Let's see if Branham can get a run in 3 and 4. Hernandez shuts the door, and that's the big key on how to be right up front and in a battle for the race lead. You have to cut the air off of the car ahead. If they get a run up to you, you just got to slam the door and they'll lose a lot of time. Even if their car is faster, you cut that air off and it just slows their car down. The way you got to set this up, if you're a guy like Justin Branham, you got to be just stay tucked up behind the driver of the 19, and then once you get up to a spoiler, make a run to the inside. And now you see the gap is a car length, actually. Hold that thought. Caution is out in turn 2 for Anthony Monroe, who has been battling an ill-fighting race car. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what Wolfram was thinking there. It's like he just wanted to run into him or something. Anyway, here's the replay. Oh, wow. The 20 of Abro just shuffled up the track and got into the 82 of Monroe. And then watch Wolfram here come in with ARCA brakes. Kapuya. For what reason, I have no idea why he went up to the high side in the first place. Put it out! I guess is the perfect line to say there. Let's go real time. Just give us a better angle. Oh, man. That was a strange netcode moment where the 20 just got oh so sideways and got up into the 82. Now, I get that side, but he could have yanked it to the right. Let's be honest. Or yank it all the way down below the apron. Let's be honest, Steven. Summerworth Monroe. That was absolutely strange. And I think we'll know who had the better perspective of that from Abro. And we'll figure it out right here. It's tough to tell there. I don't know if there was prior contact before we got sideways. So the yellow's already out. Let's start it right there. This yellow flag's already out. It's already the bottom, and for some reason, he decides not to go to the outside. Okay. And that will likely end the day for the driver of the 82. We've got pit stops happening as Hateman decides to stay out. By the way, update you here on the Cup race at Bristol. At the moment, Chase Briscoe is winning. 2 stages are in the books. Correction, Kyle Busch is now the leader at Bristol, as he was one of the drivers to stay out. So while we're at it, listen to some more radio chatter. If we have it for you, by the way.
Top or bottom 76?
Leader has old tires.
Not sure.
So ready to go back to the green flag once again here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Derek Kamen was the only driver to stay out. Everyone else pitted on that last situation. So Pat Hernandez currently in the catbird seat at the moment when we come back to the green flag. Under 100 laps to go. Bateman tries to pull up in front of Hernandez, and now the 19 should get the run off at turn 2 with those fresh tires. One rubber and an abrasive Atlanta. You don't want to deal with that at all. Glass a little bit loosey-goosey off at turn 2. Keeps his car going in the 6th position. Duncan falling back 3 wide for the race lead. Derek Hateman is the meat in the sandwich, and he's falling downwards on the timing tower like a rock. Hernandez now tries to open up a lead. Duncan up to 2nd. That's the highest position he's been in so far today. Cuts the air off of Justin Branham. Glass again loose off of 2. Comes up the track. Opens the door for Mark Jackson in the 1 to take advantage. And now the battle for the lead. Here comes Casey Duncan. Down to the inside. Will Duncan lead for the first time today? Not yet. The 19 and the 18, they're both Toyotas. They're going at it for the race lead. Pat Hernandez and Casey Duncan, by the way, may be in Toyotas. They are not teammates, though. You got an HS car versus a 4X car going at it. Best battle on track. Duncan, can he clear Hernandez? Not just yet. Across the line. And he's got it this time. Let's see what happens at the exit of 2. Does Duncan slide up? Yes, he does. Hernandez could get the run. Justin Branham could get the run down the back chute. You've got 3 cars under a blanket in this battle for the race lead. But Hernandez just slowed up big time. The situation that Branham's in. Let's go to a battle mid-pack here as Stencel gets up to 8th position. Once again, Hateman with the Warnets tires of everyone. Back in 9th position, losing a lot of time. Losing time to drivers that have damage. Now you see why tires are a huge factor at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back to that battle for the race lead between the top 3. Then you've got a good battle from 4th on back between Glass, Jackson, and Raposa. Hernandez could get the run off at turn number 2. You're watching on board with Branham. Hernandez trying to pick his poison, but instead tucks it back. Says it's not worth it just yet. A lot of time left to go. We're nearly at 90 laps to go. Hernandez up on the high side of the track. Duncan, the only one low in this battle for the race lead, has the run off the exit. Gets the draft from Branham. Hernandez to the point. Driver in the pits, by the way. I think it was Mark Jackson. We got one off track. It's Tyler Glass off-roading. Looking like he's in the Dukes of Hazzard. Wild ride. Glass luckily not shattered yet. He lost it off of turn 4. I think the one of Jackson just took the air underneath of that left rear quarter panel and sent him sideways. But look at that wild ride for the Orange 5. Crosby Sr., by the way, in the pits while at it, and we're still at that battle for the race lead. Branham has made his way back up to second. I believe he's led the most laps so far of all the drivers in this race. If not, it's the 83 of Stensow. And give credit to him after falling back earlier, after his car got really loose. Currently in the 4th position. Back up front, we could go 3 wide for the race lead. Duncan with a run on the low side, but again, the exit, the advantage to the draft. Let's see if they go 3 wide for this race lead. So Hernandez continues up in front. By the way, an update, the race is under a red flag for rain. This race, by the way, is considered an official race, so if NASCAR calls it a day, Chase Briscoe will win this race. It'll be his 2nd win of the year. 2nd place battle, though. 2 bright cars, Justin Branham and Casey Duncan. You can recognize the neon on their cars, intense and very bright. Meanwhile, for 4th position, let's go back. Stensow, Raposa, and Jackson. Jackson's been very quiet in this race so far today. Currently in P6. One still right now at this moment. I think, you know, we're starting to get into perhaps one of our longest runs of the race. I think drivers are just trying to just figure out where their car is the best. And maybe perhaps just work with each other in the draft and see how the car works there compared to now. Because we've got because these drivers, we got a long race left to go. I think drivers are just trying to figure out where the car is very good at on the long run. Duncan on the bottom of Justin Branham. Rain is starting to pick up here at Bristol, by the way. This is, I guess you could say it's definitely over. I think Chase Briscoe has won the race. We'll keep you posted on what is going to happen. Good battle happening mid-pack. Tyler Glass trying to rebound from his off track. About maybe 10 laps to go or so. Currently in the 8th position. And a change for 2nd. Duncan back down to the bottom of Justin Branham. And he's up to P2. That's the 29 of Chris Davis. Leaders are going by at the moment. Biggest car count, by the way, we've had this season set at 18. I think that's 1 or 2 over from last week. I can't recall correctly what happened, a lot of what happened last week, specifically because I've been a pretty busy man this past week or so. Let's go back to 5th. Jackson on the bottom of Stenzel, and he's off the pace. I think he may have just wanted to let Stenzel go to get a feel. Back to second. Back and forth they're going for that runner-up spot. But all that side-by-side racing, allowing Hernandez to try and pull away to a point where the runner-ups may not be able to get a draft or a slipstream up on Hernandez. Keep that in mind. Drafting is big with this high downforce package. No call yet on the race. Let's go back to the Stenzel-Jackson battle. They've all faded back, currently in 5th spot. So let's give you a full field rundown here at the moment. So give you a full field run here at the moment. Apologies, by the way. Patrick Hernandez, currently a race leader at the moment. Casey Duncan is running second. That's Chris Davis, by the way, unlapping himself. He's got fresh tires on everybody else. 3rd spot is Justin Branham. In 4th position is Eli Raposa. 5th, Jordan Stenzel in the 83. He was your pole sitter earlier in the race. Mark Jackson currently in 6th. Tyler Glass is running in P7. Riley Lambert is in 8th. Alan Martin is in 9th. Jamie Abrell is running in 10th. Jeff Crosby Jr. in 11th. And Derek Hateman, who again has the warnest tires of everybody out there, in 12th. 12 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. 1 driver is out of the race. That is Jeff Crosby Sr. Biggest movers of the race so far, Patrick Hernandez from 17th to 7. Mark Jackson and Jamie Abrell up 8 spots each. Jackson started 14th, Abrell started 18th. Casey Duncan, Eli Raposa each up 7. Duncan started in 8th, and Raposa started in 11th. You saw a nice run from Casey Duncan, trying to run the shortest way around the track. You see he's diving it in deep there. But the thing is, if you dive it in deep, you lose so much momentum because of the banking that Atlanta Motor Speedway has. Just in the 20 degrees area. Duncan tries it once again. Nothing just yet in 3 and 4. Hernandez cuts the air off, though. Hernandez so far has led the most laps, again trying to rebound from last week, finishing in 2nd at Daytona. Would love to rebound with a win. Again, battle for the race lead is on. Got another driver on fresher tires behind them. That's Shane Davis in car number 30. They'll let him go by. Speaking of tires, by the way, let's talk about this at the moment. Many of the drivers, by the way, pitted on lap number 39. So again, we're expecting about maybe 50 lap runs on fuel, and obviously 4 tire stops for sure. So we're expecting the drivers all to come in on around lap 89 or so. We'll see what happens. We're 2 laps, by the way, away from being past the halfway point. Only 4 cautions so far in this race today. A lot of them happening at the start of the race from lap 15 on. We even did have 1 caution when we were coming back to the green flag with Stephen Wolfram. Not been a good night so far for Stephen. Been involved in 2 wrecks. Same going for Anthony Monroe. I believe he's been in 3. There's the run inside for Duncan once again. Battle for the lead. Can't get it to work just yet. On board with Hernandez. Duncan trying to get that run once again. Lap traffic ahead. As that is Monroe, I believe, in the number 82. If not, it's Wolfram with the 52, and that is Wolfram. Lets the leaders go, and there goes the run for Duncan down to the inside. Duncan can't get the pass stick there. He really needs some help, that's for sure. These two obviously have the best cars in the long run. You know, Branham, by the way, fell back earlier. He's now falling into the hands of Raposa in the battle for 3rd position on track. I believe if Raposa does take this 3rd position, it'll be in the highest spot possible. Pulls him to 21, pulls up underneath on Branham. See if he can get this to stick. Again, battle for the bottom step of the podium. Drivers are pitting. That's Hateman, that's in pit road. Remember, he was the one that had the warnest tires of everybody, so he's on a completely different strategy. But the battle for the lead is on. Duncan pulls up underneath. Get the run off of 2. Not quite, but leaders are getting let go by the lap cars. There's Davis in the 29. Everybody running on the outside like a dirt track. Duncan dominating up in 3 and 4. On board with the 4X driver. Nothing working at the moment. While we're at it, let's turn up your surround sounds and we'll crank it up here for you at the moment at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You can hear from Duncan's perspective, by the way, how much he's slipping and sliding. We've got the leaders in the pits, by the way. Only took them about 40 laps or so. Jordan Stenso and Patrick Hernandez in the pits. Watching Stenso stop as he overshot his pit box as Hernandez makes his way out, 14.8 second stop. So he exits. Casey Duncan in the pits now. And we'll take a look here. And so Hernandez cycles out through in front of Casey Duncan. Eli Raposa, by the way, the leader. Here comes Riley Lambert in the pit. So Lambert exits pit road. Raposa still leads. Probably about 8 laps away from seeing him hit the window. Oh, there they go. Oh, my goodness. Duncan up on his lid. Chris Davis also involved, and we're under caution. And that's going to change everything for sure. Wow, I'm speechless. All right, let's go to a replay and see what happened. Unlapping himself on Raposa, and then him and Davis just make contact. Davis goes flipping. Wow. That's right on board here with KC. Yeah, the 29 just simply came down. And this is Davis. Simply just came down, man. Casey Duncan luckily has a quick repair, but I'd honestly be ashamed if I was Chris Davis on that. That was ugly. So Hernandez has the lead, and I'm going to be interested in this restart because many of the drivers have 6 laps of fresher tires. So we wait for the fuel to come by, listen to some audio at the moment.
Never mind. 33, I was thinking it was still showing you on the lead lap. Yeah, it is still showing you on the lead lap, so it's going to put me a lap down, right?
Once we get one to green, everybody that's ahead of Patrick will go ahead and pass the pace car and get their lap back.
I see it now.
Yep.
Yeah, I just watched that. 21 8. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I was just following what my racing told me to do. So, I mean, I didn't care.
Yeah, I just thought it kept you on the lead lap for a second, then it wasn't going to let me have the wave around.
Gotcha, 10-4. I'll probably go in here anyway. Well, shoot, I probably should stay out. Never mind.
I will take the bottom on the lead car. Hey, Riley, just to confirm, the restart is on my control, right?
As soon as the pace car pulls off, it's in your control.
Okay, man, thank you. I don't have to worry about this point.
So we're ready to go back to the green flag. We have got 55 laps to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Pat Hernandez, Eli Raposa, row 1. Alan Martin and Tyler Glass in row number 2. Jamie Abreu and... Jamie Abreu and is in 5th. Justin Branham 6th. Mark Jackson 7th. Jordan Stencil 8th. Derek Hateman 9th. Jeff Crosby Jr. rounds out the top 10. Back to green as Hernandez fires. Eli Raposa did not get a great restart. What happens off the corner. I would have expected Raposa to have a huge advantage on Hernandez coming back to green considering the fresher tires. But now it's Alan Martin in the 05 who we've really yet to talk about in this race so far tonight. But Tyler Glass now with a run up to second spot. Now these guys shouldn't be working side by side. They know they've got fresh rubber. They need to work together and try and pull up to Pat Hernandez for this race lead. See though what happens. Hernandez is loving what he's seeing behind him. He's just riding the high side like it's a dirt track. Raposa losing some time. Glass falling back to P3. Here comes Branham down on the bottom of Raposa. But a nice day for Branham so far. Been very consistent inside the top 5. Here's the run from Branham up to 3rd on Tyler Glass. Here's the run on Alan Martin. Back to stick. Hard racing off at turn 2. Run inside, by the way, for Ryan Douglas. Remember, he's the first car 2 laps down, so he'll need 2 cautions. Get back on the lead lap. all been able to pick up, even though they've been side-by-side racing, they've all been able to catch up to Patrick Hernandez. Ran him all over the spoiler of Martin. Here comes the run. That is Douglas inside, not battling for a position, but he just wants to get back in this race. Would love to unlap himself. Oh boy, Douglas! Loosey-goosey! Great save. He would have loved to be in a situation where he could get in front of Patrick Hernandez and then at the same time get back on the lead lap if we had a yellow flag to come out. Alan Martin, Tyler Glass battling for third. Gotta give credit, Martin has really shown up late in the going in this second half, so this is very impressive. Wow, for the race lead. Branham's been able to rebound up to second spot, trying to close in. They get a run, tries to pull up underneath. Nobody is going with them. Back to third. Roberts in third and fourth, even side by side, thanks to the push from Raposa. They are closing in. Here's the run from Martin. He keeps it up on the outside. Tyler Glass may be the odd man out of this. Down on the bottom of the racetrack. Falls all the way back. Oh, Martin, can he save it? No, around he goes. Caution's out. Oh, he had it going. And then Mark Jackson gets into him. That's unfortunate there. Martin had a great race going for him. So we'll go to the replay and see what happened. This is going to be close for everybody on field. If we go green, there you see there. Martin just got the wall and nowhere to go was the 21. Then Pow goes Mark Jackson. That's right on board. Everybody's in the pit. Could be the final stop of the race, but if we go to the end, this could be close on fuel. We'll just have to see. I think they'll be good to go to the end, but you never know. Martin, by the way, assumes the lead still. So Branham wins the race off pit road, but this is interesting. I think he's trying to save a set of tires. He goes fuel only. See what happens. Meanwhile at it, let's listen to race control or interviews, driver radios.
Riley, give me a passenger yellow black flag that I didn't have.
Shane, you said you need a EOL?
No, no, give me a black passenger yellow I didn't do.
Okay.
You guys have a good night.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, Patrick, I'm gonna take the high side.
The high side, 10-4, buddy.
Darty, go ahead and pass.
So ready to go back to the green flag. Justin Branham and Patrick Hernandez in row number 1. Jordan Stencil, Jeff Crosby Jr. row number 2. Jamie A. Brown, Eli Raposa row 3. We get set to go back to the green flag. Branham almost had it. Hernandez has the lead, but here comes Crosby Jr. First time today, the 33's out in front and leads the lap at the start-finish line. We've completed 99 laps in the century mark. Tyler Glass, though, big trouble at the line. Take a look real quick. No yellow, though. We stay green. He just lost it off turn 4. And off-roads it for the second time tonight. Battle for the lead, though. Hernandez takes it back from Crosby Jr. Best battle on track right now for the race lead. We've seen a lot of great battles for this lead so far in this race. Gotta give these drivers credit. You know, this is a package that not a lot of drivers really like. Not a lot of drivers had liked in NASCAR. Not a lot of fans really like, but it's working really well in iRacing. And you see some good battles for the race lead. Crosby Jr. snatches it back from Hernandez. Oh, Hernandez got the wall off for 2 there. Oh, these are around. Wow. Can he keep it off the wall? No. This could be a yellow flag right here. It's not. Keeps it below the apron. We stay green. But this race changes once again. Under 40 to go. And now the battle for second. Riley Lambert in the highest spot he's been in so far today, up to 3rd. Again, he's one of those guys that hangs out in the back for most of the race and then makes his way up, creeps his way forward step by step and lap by lap. Could he be pulling another one-lap atmosphere? Jordan Stenso has made a great recovery so far tonight after being involved in the yellow flag earlier. To P2, he was our pole sitter in this race. Crosby Jr. though. First lap, he has led though in this race. You got Mark Jackson running in 4th position. Now our biggest mover of the race, along with Jamie Abreu. They both started 18th respectively. Here's the run for second. Lambert tried down low on Stenso. That does not work. Six cars under a blanket in the battle for the lead. Branham's fallen off the pace, but look at some of the guys that have made their way back up there. I think the most notable one of all of them, give credit to that 76 in the tail of this pack, Derek Hateman. Remember, he had stayed out on a worn tweet. Excuse me, on a worn tires, I should say, and fell all the way back to the tail of the lead lap. A couple of cautions later, an incident. He's back up into 5th. Run around the outside. Let's see if Lambert can get second, and he does. Stenso in 3rd as Jackson falls back to 4th. Nice rebound as well from Jackson. He's been dealing with some accidents earlier in this race, but now right in 4th in the Mountain Dew car. Crosby Jr., meanwhile, has opened his lead up to a 0.3 of a second lead. We didn't do this a lot earlier in this race because of pit stops. Let's do it now this time. Let's crank it up for you, right around for a couple of laps with some of the drivers on track. Crosby Jr. continuing to lead. We come to 30 laps to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Keep in mind all the drivers paid around lap 95 to 97. That's specifically that's all the lead cars. If we go green in the end, we could perhaps see a fuel mileage race to the end. Some drivers perhaps be saving fuel, like Branham, for example. You don't want to save too much, because if we get to the white flag and you're not in the lead, who knows? Hateman looking for 3rd on Stenso. He's back up on the bottom step of the podium. Makes the slide job up on the 83 up to 3rd. Stenso almost lost it off of turn 2. I think he was trying to make a pass, but then realized Raposo was down there. not Raposa in the 21. Or he was a part of that last yellow when he bumped into the driver of the 05 and Alan Martin. Here we go for fourth. Good torque, he tucks it back in line. I want to say that this half-second lead we have seen on a driver under a green flag situation, nothing pit stop related. I want to say that this is the biggest lead we have seen so far on another driver. So that right there, folks, is really impressive. It stayed really close. Meanwhile, back to fourth. Raposa get it on the low line. Gets it back on the throttle first. Rear end doesn't go sideways. On board to 15. Let's see what it's like. How much he's keeping that in the throttle. Look how close it is. Look how close. Oh, Raposa has to back out of it. I think the car just started to get sideways off of turn 2. He's going to try it here once again. Watch the steering. Keeps his foot in it. Best battle on track right now for fourth. Everyone wants the high side. Currently, the middle to the high side, the dominant line in this race today in the corners, unless you get help. Mark Jackson thinking about it. .24 to go. And everyone's still working together here, trying to see if they can catch up to the top three. They've lost time to Derek Cateman, who was 8/10 ahead. He was trying, and he's lost a lot of time to Riley Lambert. So the biggest gaps we have seen in this race so far. Top two, by the way, and Jeff Crosby Jr. and Riley Lambert, they've been very quiet in this race so far today. These are the first laps, again, that Crosby Jr. has led since the green flag, as we've got Wolfram in the pits. Or pardon me, just wrapping up his stop. .22 to go, back in the field for fourth. And it works for Raposa. Stenzel falls back to 6. Jackson should get the banking off of 4 to his advantage, and he does. He's up to 5th. Again, biggest lead for anyone today. This would be a big one for Crosby Jr. coming out clutch late in the goings. 20 laps to go. Back to the field here in 4th spot between Raposa and Jackson. This battle is far from over. another good battle happening on track there. We're actually just picking up here, coming across our point. Tyler Glass and Jamie Abro in the battle for 8th. Been a tough day for Jamie Abro. I mean, when it comes to the racing, he was running though near the top 5 in this race, but his spin really took him out of situations. Currently in 9th though, but I mean, it's definitely got to be a positive race for him. He's picked up half the spots. Again, not really a big qualifier. Oh, we got one blowing up, by the way. Wow, Adam. We were just about to talk about Justin Branham in 8th. I don't know who blew up. It was Chris Davis. And we got a wreck in 3. That brings the yellow out, along with Stephen Wolfram. And the fuel strategy ends, and everybody is going to come in for their final set of tires. That is not what you wanted if you were the top 3. You had a perfect lead to end this race, but things just changed up big time. Watch when Davis explodes the engine. Wolfram right in front of him. Nowhere to go. He had it stayed there on the apron, then Davis comes back onto the track, and there goes, oh my goodness. That is a scary scene. Thank goodness there were no more other drivers involved. Look at that. That's how crazy it is. So here we go. Money stops on the line right here. Crosby winning the race off pit road, followed by Hateman, Raposa, Stenzel, and Jackson. Again, everybody using their final stops of the race. So, and we got more drivers coming in, of course, lap traffic having to come in. So we'll have 13 laps to go. And let's take a look here. Lights are still on, so we'll have 12 to go. Let us know, by the way, we haven't used chat a lot today. Who you think is going to win this race? We've got, I think, 10 drivers that have a shot at winning this race still. And yes, it is 10 drivers that still have a shot at winning this race. Ryan Douglas, by the way, is the free pass car, so he'll get a lap back. So let's talk about the drivers that could have a chance at winning this race. Of course, Jeff Crosby Jr. has been running late in the going. Derek Hateman, second spot, only led laps under caution so far in this race. Eli Raposa, who is yet to lead any laps in a non-green flag pit stop situation. Jordan Stenzel, who led early in the race, but ever since he lost the lead in around the lap teens or so, he's yet to lead. Mark Jackson, who's yet to lead this race, running in 5th position. And then you got a guy like Justin Branham, who's had one of the best cars here of all the drivers today. We've got 12 laps to go, but I don't think this is the final yellow of the race. By the way, real quick, I can't believe this is happening, but drivers are going to their cars for the Cup race at Bristol, so just a heads up. Anyway, for the restart, 12 to green, Crosby Jr. and Heitman in row 1. Hateman row 1, Raposa and Stenzel row 2, Jackson Branham row 3, April Lambert row 4, Glass Hernandez in row 5. Here we go, back to green. By the way, Ryan Douglas is back on the lead lap, 12 laps to go, so he's back in the hunt. You see Stenzel and Raposa side by side for third. Raposa almost washed off the track, went about half a groove up. Jackson nearly loses it in turn number 2. Meanwhile, Hateman all over the 33 for the race lead. Can the 76 stay in the gas? Or does the 33 have the run off of 4? Crosby still with it. Back to third. Stenzel over Raposa for now. Slams the door. Into the corner, helps out the 83 big time, and slows back the second pack for now. You see Branham all over Raposa. Thought for a moment he was trying to bump trap, but look at the blocking happening. Raposa with a send into 3. Almost washed up the track, but look at the run for Branham off of turn 4. Fourth of the line is his, 10 left. Jeff Crosby Jr., by the way, just the top 2 just ran their best laps of the race. 31:08 and a 31:15. These have not been the 2 best cars all day, however, though, they're running in the right place at the right time, and we've got 9 laps to go. Back to that third pack, Justin Branham inside on Jordan Stenzel. Branham almost thought to cut it back up top. Now the run on the 83 down to the bottom. Branham wants to get back on that bottom step. Oh, that's tight off of 4. Almost got Stenzel. And now Raposa trying to get around the outside. He got blocked. There was no room at all to make that corner. Jackson touches the apron. Hard fought racing. All the way around. We got one in the wall. And he's around. Is that Jackson? No. That's Lambert. The Daytona winner is out of it. I think he'll wait for the field to go by. We stay green with 8 to go. Meanwhile, for the lead, it's Crosby and Hateman. Here we go. Hateman inside for the lead. They touch it too. That got close. Hateman is trying everything to side draft off of Crosby Jr. as much as possible. Let's see the run he gets in 3. And the fans are loving it. 6 to go for Crosby Jr. Can he hold off Hateman? It's got to run on the inside, but Crosby's got the banking. Got to pull up that time. Crosby Jr., though, picked up some ground. Five laps to go. Can Crosby hold off the 76? See what happens in 1 and 2. That's where Hitman is good at. Nothing there. Meanwhile, behind them, let's go back to that second pack. It is getting good for the battle for third. Stensel's up to third. Branham's fallen all the way back to seventh. Off the corner, Raposa just got a bit loose. Oh, he's got a big side draft. But Stenso has third at the line, 4 laps to go. Hateman with the diamond. Can he get the run off at 2? Oh, he got the wall. He got the wall. Crosby got the wall. Here comes Hedman down the back chute. And Hedman actually backed out of the throttle. That kept Crosby in the lead somehow. That's crazy. If that was the final lap, Heyman was keeping his foot in the gas. It didn't matter what was happening. 3 laps to go. Heyman's right there. There's the bumper. But did not get Crosby loose, though. And that keeps Hitman, though, 0.2 of a second back. Hitman went for the send. Crosby plays defense, shuts the door. Coming to 2 to go this time. Hitman's got to do whatever it takes here if he wants this win. Who's going to get the first win, the Gen 6 this season? Hitman's got the run in 2 to the bottom. Can't clear it just yet, but he got Crosby loose. Up to the outside. They nearly touch into 3. Derek Hitman, can he get the run off of turn 4? Crosby Jr. touches the apron. Drag racing coming to the line. White flags in the air. 1 to go in Atlanta. We had a great finish last week, a photo finish. Will we see it once again? Hitman, this is where he's been good at all day today. Can he propel off of turn 2? Does Crosby keep his foot in it? Hitman clears Crosby Jr. down the back chute. But he's got one last move in 3 and 4. He's got to send it to the inside. Crosby's got to run. Hitman doesn't go defensive. Off the corner. Just do it for the 76. Derek Hitman takes the win. An incredible finish once again after 140 circuits. And Derek Hitman takes his first win of the season. Alec called it right, by the way, that he is a crafty son of a gun. And that's right. Celebratory burnout there early. By the way, we did have a situation happen coming to the white flag. In the battle for third, Tyler Glass took it home after all of that. Let's show you, by the way, what happened at the white flag between the drivers battling for third. Look at that. Branham got sideways. That's a tough break. They were going to have a great finish for third at the end. Let's remember what happened with Derek Hitman early on in this race. He stayed out during one of his stops to save a set of tires, and it cost him so many spots. He went down to the bottom of the lead lap, and it was so bad he had to pit first like 10 laps in front of everyone. Then we got the yellows he needed. And we're about to talk with a happy man, that's for sure. So again, we're about to bring in your top 3 in. 2 for 2 for United Racing this season. Lambert won last week at Daytona. Heyman does the Polish victory lap today. Let's begin here by talking with our 3rd place finisher in Tyler Glass. Tyler, we took a look at the craziness in turn 4 coming to the white flag for you guys. What did you see from your perspective?
Yeah, we were all trying to get around the 83 end. He was like a roadblock. He was sitting in the middle lane. It was really hard to get around him. I think he took like right side tires on that last pit stop, so everyone was trying to get around him. It was just a mess until I got past him, but we were racing like mad, like under a blanket. Just glad to get around him and get back up to 3rd. I went through the grass twice tonight, so a 3rd place is a good finish for me.
That had to have been a lot of fun though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun racing right there, trying to get around him. Lots of just close racing. Honestly, really good racing throughout the field. Whenever I was in a pack, it was pretty clean, and we were able to race side by side most of the night. So honestly, really fun race. Just wish I wouldn't have gone through the grass a couple times.
Well, who do you want to give shout-outs to on your run?
Shout out obviously to Derek for that W. He was definitely really fast all night long. And then shout out to the couple guys in my VC. I Scarecrow, which is Riley Lambert. I know him from Xbox. That's why I'm calling him by his gamer tag. And then the one car of Mark Jackson. We were all talking to each other all night, talking through strategy and stuff like that. Fuel was gonna be close if we went green after like a caution on lap like 95-ish. So we were talking through some strategy and stuff like that. So shout out to all the guys I was working with tonight.
Congratulations, great run, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Tyler Glass with a 3rd place finish. Let's go to our 2nd place finisher in Jeff Crosby Jr. Jeff, I know that one's going to be a bummer. When he had the room up on the high side, do you think that's what hit the straw on the camel's back?
Yeah, he had the run. It was either going to be me blocking him or we were both going to wreck there, so I kind of just gave it to him. I did hit the wall, so I'm curious to see if that what caused me to slow down some. But all in all, P2 will bring it home, and congrats to Derek. That was really cool.
Final lap in 3 and 4. Did you think you had what it took on the inside to get by him, or no?
No, it seemed like 3 and 4. The middle line was the right lane to be in to come to the checkered. So he set himself up. He ran a heck of a race. I was glad to be able to lead a lot of laps there. I was a little scared earlier in the race when I got caught up in the caution there on like lap 25 or whatever it was. So I'm just excited to have another podium finish just back-to-back weeks. So
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on your run?
give a shout out to my dad, Jeff Crosby Sr. I know he had to pull away. He had to go pick up Uncle at the airport tonight. But anybody that's watching, I know there's some friends that are watching too. So hopefully keep this streak going and see what happens.
Great run tonight.
Thank you.
Time to go to victory lane and talk with our race winner. First off, Derek, is it Hateman or Hitman?
It's Heitman.
Heitman, okay. I said that once. I had too many questions on that. But, hey, penultimate lap pass. How does that feel coming out clutch?
Oh man, dude, my heart was in my throat, you know, as soon as there was like 3 to go and I was being patient, and it feels great, honestly. I mean, the top lane got left open for me and I just gunned it and I was like, okay, if we wreck, we wreck, but this was my one opportunity. I got to do it now.
I got to ask as well, how were you able to rebound after you stayed out on, I think it was lap 36, and then we had that long run? You lost so much time due to the worn tires. You had to pit 10 laps in front of everyone and then make it back up to the top. How did you do it?
I honestly have no idea. You know, it's when I didn't pit, I was kind of strategizing. I thought maybe the tires were just feeling like garbage, you know, because of the heat in them. So I thought after maybe we ran a couple pace laps, I thought it'd still be semi-fast and I could save a tire set. And then everybody, ended up pitting and I got blown out of out of the water and fell clear to the back, and then we went an entire green flag run, of course, and I had to pit under green. I ran my tank dry too. I ran it as dry as I could before I pitted, and took 4, came out, and then of course a caution came out when I was a lap down, and so then I had to take a wave around and couldn't pit, so I was on old tires again, and it was just an uphill battle all the way back. And I tell you what, I probably would have got 3rd place had that last, caution not came out, because Riley and Jeff were driving away and I could not catch them. And so once that caution came out, I got 4 stickers, and Riley made a mistake on pit road. I got past him, came out 2nd. And I tell you what, had a really good restart and just stuck it to him, stuck with him the whole time, drove him as clean as I possibly could, and ended up coming away with it. So.
Well, congratulations on the finish. Next week, we got the Xfinity cars at Dover. What are you expecting for that race?
I'm expecting, hopefully not eye pacing. I hope it's not going to be a caution fest. But it seems like everybody in here is some really clean, fun racers. I'm expecting to be running up front again. Xfinity car is a little bit more difficult to drive as far as having to fight it off the corners. So it's definitely going to test, driver's skill a lot more. So we'll see who has it next week and who doesn't. It's going to be one of those tracks that separates the men from the boys. So we'll see what happens.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on your run tonight?
Oh, I definitely want to shout out Jeff. Definitely for racing me clean there for the lead and not putting us both in the wall when I got my little highline run. So I want to shout him out. I want to shout out Tyler and Riley. Riley really helped me out on the gas strategy because we pitted and then we had I don't know, I think it was 3 to green, and then we I watched Riley pit again to top off for fuel, and I said, you know what, that's not a bad idea. And then we had two to go for green, so I came down and topped off. So I knew, I guess I probably would have got 2nd had that last caution not come out, because I knew that Jeff wasn't good on gas, only me and Riley were. So I got to shout out Riley for the good pit road strategy.
Well, congratulations. Great job tonight, man.
Hey, Marty, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate the interview.
Derek Heitman taking the win here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight. A big win for him. Let's give you your official race results. As Heitman takes the win, only 11 cars on the lead lap after that one. Tough break for Crosby Jr. coming home just a 10th short. And then wild racing for 3rd at the end. Tyler Glass comes home in 3rd. Crazy one there too. Eli Raposa in 5th position. But man, oh man, this was this is a crazy race. And I guess you could say it had everything. You have those moments where a race includes everything. I think that race did. So that will do it for us here tonight on behalf of everyone here at the Hoosier Racing League, as well as Slide Job Network. Riley Lambert, our main guy in charge. Marty Sakala signing off here. Your race winner tonight as we congratulate Derek Heitman, first winner of the year at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see you next week with the Xfinity Series cars at Dover. Take care.